In this video, we're going to be analyzing Carvana, ticker CVNA. And now if you are a frequent viewer, one thing we're going to change how we do these analysis now. And as you can see, we've plotted all the lines. So instead, we're going to plot them in advance and then go through them in the video instead. So they're all color coded, ready for the video. So obviously Carvana, big jump up today. We're up about 21%. We're sitting at $18.85 as we're recording this video. Now, what are the key things to be focusing on? So quickly to cover the pre-market movement, obviously big move to the upside. You can see we have our second deviation on the 6 month. One thing I want to go through is if it's a dash line, it's a 6 month chart. If it's a solid line, it's a 1 year chart. Now that we can see we have our second deviation on the 6 month at this level here, and we can see obviously price moved quite quickly to this level. We did break through it, but again, like we always talk about, we did come back, we got that retest, and then this kind of confirms that we're moving to that next level. And we already have one dotted here. Now, what is this purple dashed line? So this line here is usually just going to be a longer term level. So if we zoom out, and again here, then you can actually see all the deviations on the chart, but then it's a bit chaotic watching it from here. What you can see is basically this level here. It was a resistance here, was a support here, and if we go even further back, again, if you go here, you can kind of see the level was used numerous times. So to me, it just made sense to plot this down as a support / resistance. And again, we went for when you're looking at these sort of support and resistance, they're not going to be that exact value. You maybe want to give it about 20 cents or 10 cents either side, but roughly that range is going to be that key resistance. So obviously we broke above, tested it as a support. We then held that. So then we pushed to the upside. Again, this was our resistance. We started to sell off this news. Now, if we retest the level, we're more likely to break. We're holding our 18.15 as a support. So if we kind of get out of this consolidation period, whatever way we break, again, right now it's a gamble, we don't really know. But if we do get that break to the upside, we would expect this $20 to break. And again, then to get a continuation move to the upside. And if we do, we then have a target at $23.50. You can see green dashed line. This means it's the 6 month third deviation. This is going to be a strong source of resistance. Probably something I'm going to trade myself if we can get here. The shares are hard to borrow, so probably not trading the shares. Probably looking to buy either outright puts here, play a credit or debit spread. And that's probably about it, because again, we can't get hold of the shares. So we'll be looking at it really short bias as we come into here, but not to say we're not short bias now, because again, we are overbought. We're above our second deviation on the 6 month. So if you're not in the Discord, I'll quickly run through the trade plan here. But again, do join this. We go through, I post all my trades that I'm looking at in here. And we can see, again, looking for a new trader on Carvana, ticker CVNA. And what you can see here is, again, this is unticked as well. So you can see that is what current price was. And this is why it's important to be in the Discord, because now it's already up. This trade's already up about 100%. And we only opened it about 20 minutes ago. And this was just looking at a vertical spread. So that's a debit spread. Again, we were only risking $19 on these. So again, you might want to probably be buying more than one contract to make it worth the while. And then again, as price moves down, or sometimes it may even just work in where the premiums get a bit more elevated, we can usually just take that out for a profit and get out relatively quickly. It expires in 15 days. So again, we can hold it near enough to expiration. I would always close them out before expiration, just because you do have some exercise risk if you're closing near that strike price. But either way, really just looking to profit on the premiums usually. If you're up about 100, 200, well, about 100%, I've already locked in some contracts already. But the last few I'll probably hold just to see how they kind of play out. So that was the trade plan. And again, that's the chart to show the risk and the reward. And then you can see why we chose this level, because again, it's our second deviation like we've gone through, and it also hit that long-term level as well. So again, these are in the Discord as always, so make sure you join that if you haven't already. Obviously, it is free. So again, we did cover the 1350. That is going to be a key resistance, going to be very short bias into that level. If we continue up, we then have the 1 year second deviation. This is at $26. Again, another heavy resistance. And again, I use these as a reversal trader, so I'm looking to play the pullback or reversal off of these levels. If you're a trend trader, again, these could be used more as targets. Or if you're trying to jump in the trend, again, when you break one of these levels, if you wait for that support, test it as a support, and it holds, it's more likely to continue to that next deviation. So that's a way you could potentially use them as a trend trader. So we talked about the $26 level. We talked about the 23. Our final resistance is at $37.50. Very far from where we are now. So not really focused too much on that, but if there's any short squeeze, again, I would be paying attention to that as our target. Now, to quickly cover the downside of Carvana, what happens if we start falling in price? Obviously, to us to kind of confirm that we're pushing to the downside, we want to see a break below the 1850, come back to retest it as a resistance if that holds when we're looking for a move further. Right now, at least if you're looking at it from an intraday perspective, don't forget we do have the 2-day anchored VWAP around $17.35. So we would really need to see a break below both of these to be a bit more bearish on the day. Again, test it as a resistance. If it holds, we're looking at it short bias. And then from there, we have quite a big downside potential move because our target from there is going to be $14.50, the 1 year first deviation. And if we break that, the kind of final zone of support I'd be paying attention to is $12.75 and $13. You can see this white line here. This is the 1 year 200 simple moving average, so obviously a key support there, and obviously we got off the first deviation on the 6 month there as well, so a heavy layer of support if we come down that low. And just to zoom out so you can just see the other levels, won't really go through all of them, but it's just to show you fair values at $7.50 to $3. So if this stock was to sell off quite hard, wouldn't really be looking to trade it in this area because again, that is fair value. This is an area where if I'm looking to invest in this stock, I look to buy this value or below. And the only buy level I can see is at $1.90. Obviously, not really much point paying attention to that considering where we are now. So again, that's why I'm focusing on this stock more, is if we can pop to the upside, potentially looking at it short bias. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, you will probably enjoy this video too.